Hi guys, this is 99 Rifts. Today I'm going to show you how to complete Shadow Set dungeon on Mastery level. First of all, we need to find the dungeon entrance. To do that, we teleport to Act 5, Pandemonium Fortress. This is where you go hunting for Mantle. It's basically the last map of the game. It's quite a long run, so I'll just go ahead and start running and tell you some more stuff about the set dungeon in the meantime. You want to run towards Mantle, so you choose the path where you see multiple teleports. They always end up with Maltale's entrance. And in contrast to what I've done, just set the game difficulty to normal. There's no need for you to hustle making your way through the map, because creature strength in the set dungeon is independent of the game difficulty you choose, so that will never make any difference. As I said, it's quite a long run, but we're getting very close to the entrance now. We go to the next level, and just at the beginning of the level, to the right hand side, you'll notice the entrance. You basically can't miss it. Well, unless you don't have all 6-piece Shadow Set on you, of course. Talking about the items, let me quickly go through that. It's basically the most popular Shadows Demon Hunter build in Season 10. I won't spend too much time explaining why do you need each item, because you can easily understand that if you read through the item's description. I know I'm a bit too quick going through all the items, so just pause the video if you want to read through all the stats. Okay, then this is the character details. At the bottom, can Ice Cube choice. I would recommend this setup, but I'm sure you can do the set dungeon with minor adjustment. So don't stress too much, let's take a look at the skills. This is nothing shocking for people playing Shadow Set as their main build. And as I said, read through the items or skills description to understand the choice. Diablo 3 is all about reading stuff, so you're probably used to that, but you can also just copy the gear and it'll do the trick as well, that's no problem. Alright, now that formalities are behind us, let's start the challenge. If you have a look at the right side, you will notice your objectives. Slowing down 45 different enemies with your shadow power is super easy. All you need to do is to remember to activate your shadow power and then walk past the enemies in close distance to slow them down. Now, concerning survivability, it's pretty good. Skeletons are no threat to you. They hit with almost no damage. What you need to watch out for are elites and skeleton kings, the ones that launch this purple ball towards you. Just make sure to kill them first. And be aware that if you die before killing 122 monsters, you will fail the dungeon. So remember not to die. Now, slowing down 45 enemies was the second objective. The first objective is the difficult part. Chain consecutive bonus damage impale hits on 20 different enemies 5 times. As complicated as it sounds, this means that you need to hit 20 different enemies with your impale skill and not miss a single time in between. If you miss, you need to start over from zero. It will also count only if you switch enemies. Basically, if you hit the same enemy 10 times in a row, you will only get one hit as your score. But at least you won't need to start over because you haven't missed. So most importantly, don't miss. Aim carefully. There is a buffer, so don't panic if you missed a few times. But if this is more than 4 or 5 times, I would say start over. It also depends whether you missed at the beginning of your impale chain or when you're already at 19 hits in the chain. I was lucky to miss at the beginnings, but as I said, this was my 6th attempt. As you go through the dungeon, impaling everything you see, you will quickly notice that you run out of hatred. This is why you have your preparation skill with punishment rune. This restores 75 hatred, so use it as soon as it's out of cooldown to maintain as much hatred as possible. You also want to reduce your damage not to kill enemies with one hit. This will allow you to reach higher score hitting 2 enemies switching from one to another after each hit. You can see me doing that many times during this attempt. And remember, on top of that you need to have full chain 5 times. That's 100 enemies if you don't miss. This quest would not be too hard on its own, but remember that the last objective, as in all other set dungeons, is to kill all monsters within the time given. Now, to do that, you need to make sure that you do not leave any enemies behind, because there's just enough time for one run through the map only. So it's actually more beneficial to double check the areas that you run through the moment you run through them because you won't have time to return to them after you finish the first loop. And also the map route that you see me running is what I figured out to be the best loop not to miss any monsters. So try it out and see if it works for you. As you see, I have completed 3 main objectives and still have 1 minute 40 seconds left to find and kill all the monsters. From now on, you don't need to worry about all the limitations. You can start shooting more careless and you can use all your other abilities, like for example Fan of Knives, which basically helps you to kill the enemies faster. At this point, it's only a question whether you have missed a monster or not. So sit back, enjoy me finishing the dungeon, and I hope you enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think in comments below, and see you in the next Diablo 3 video. 99 out.